Hi everybody out there. There are a few things I want to speak about today. Just a kind of an update of what's going on in my life if you're interested. It affects me, so I suppose I am. First off, it's interesting how these things happen. I've committed myself to making some sort of transition, a transition into the future is I haven't yet decided and don't intend to decide how far I'm going to go and what the end point is going to be. I don't think it's useful for me to even think about that at this point. What is clear is I've made a departure from where I was living. But it's always interesting to me that at these points in time that things emerge. Recently I met somebody who professed an interest in me, and I find her somewhat interesting too. I don't mean to be so cold about that, but it's really rather confusing. I don't want to jump into the boyfriend role, and I have been very clear with her about that even though I'm not out in public, indoors, I'm doing everything I can do to work towards realizing the shape of who I'm going to be, and that if she is going to be part of my life, she will not be spared from that, and I will not act in the role of a boyfriend. I will never be anybody's boyfriend ever again. Well, we'll see how that works out. But it does bring up something else. Question of sex, sexuality, intimacy. It's one of those things that I have to think about quite a bit. In the role I play as male, I've been quite lucky and fortunate in that I was able to attract the attentions of potential partners quite easily. The downside of that, of course, is that I dread the intimacy that goes along with that. That act that confirms the intensity of the relationship is the worst place in the world for me. It's an act I cannot perform any longer. I dread it. The only pleasure I ever really got out of a sexual encounter was the joy of seeing my partner having pleasure. That was the best part. I never really experienced any lasting pleasure, and everything to do with sex was filled with anxiety for me. So, given that I'm moving into a different place now, I'm moving into a transitional phase, I have to ask the question, what would happen if I were to never have sex again? I mean, it's possible. I'm going to be changing, and I may not effectively change well enough to easily attract anybody into wishing an intimate circumstance with me. Would I rather have that situation than the situation that I have endured all my life, where I can have sex, and I have to have sex, and I don't want to be in that circumstance, in that form, and the only reason that I'm there is to prove to my partner that I care about them. And I can't do that any longer. I totally dread completely dread being stuck in that circumstance. I'd rather not have sex than dread it. So I suppose that's the answer. If I never ever have sex again with another, then really, as far as I can see it right now, that's a better situation than being obligated to do something that just does not work. Anyway, just a couple of thoughts for today, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.